In a world where there's so much BS, it's very easy to be jaded about life. Why am I scrolling on YouTube right now? Why am I listening to a woman standing in the forest with antlers? These are very great questions, but ones that you yourself can answer when you take a moment to reflect on why and how you make the choices you do. And by the end of this video, should you choose to continue to watch it, I imagine you will have that much more clarity about why and how you choose things in your life. Because as I mentioned, it can be so easy to mindlessly allow ourselves to navigate our reality, to presume we have only so much choice, power, and ability to navigate this world around us and within us. But it is my experience and perception that each of us has an innate ability to choose where we place our focus in this world and in this life. And through that choice, through the resonance of the way we choose, we are able to inspire experiences, connections, opportunities, maybe even things that you would call synchronicities. You see, I'm Danielle Lynn, and I have conversations with people who are choosing to intentionally create in their lives. And in this case, I recognize you as someone who is either doing that right now, or is at the very least on the precipice of being curious about it. In all cases, good day. If this is something that you might feel a little bit uncertain about, once again, if you're watching this far, I invite you to continue to watch. There was some reason you clicked on this video. Let's find out why. I find that there are deeply intelligent people across a spectrum of beliefs. Whether you believe in religion, whether you don't, whether you adhere to some form of spirituality, or whether the roots of your intelligence are based in science, a common factor of those who seem to be enjoying a satisfying version of their lives are these people often have clear values that they adhere to, appropriate and resonant boundaries, ways that they decide what is a yes for them and a no for them, and they act accordingly on those boundaries. They love, honor, and respect themselves, and therefore they carry that into the relationships that they are with. They are often people of heart and integrity, and while they may not capitulate to some people coming into their space asking for their times and resources, I find that they think and act very mindfully and from a place of heart for the resonance good of all. I might even amend that to say, for the resonant experience of everybody. Because in my own life and my own reality, I don't find judgment that useful. What I find useful in my life and my reality is discernment. And for me, the subtle distinction between judgment and discernment is, to me, judgment says, this is the correct or incorrect way to be. Discernment says, this is what I choose and this is what I say no to. They might seem like the similar things, but one of them often carries within it a subtle opinion or a judgment, while the other one is simply a very clean, neutral deciding factor. Interestingly enough, a judgment has opportunity because it's often connected with or paired with a belief or a story or a structure. This is judged this way. This is good, bad, right, or wrong because blank. Whereas a discernment, this is a yes for me, that's a no for me, simply is what it is, what it is. Why is it a yes for me? Because yes. Why is it a no for me? Because no. Very clear. So at any given present moment, we have within us and in front of us the ability to be deeply aware of what's around us and within us. And that includes the ability at any moment to tap into our natural reservoir of inner wisdom, just as it is right now. And if you choose to, if you intend to, right at this moment, we can explore that right here, right now together. We can take in a breath in through our nose, doing so gently and with awareness, simply being aware that the air always knows exactly where to go. And when we're ready, we can release it out through our mouths, feeling how easily we let go. When we're ready, we can draw breath back in through our nose, observing with wonder, once again, how the air always knows exactly where to go. And then breathe out, experiencing the act of letting go in this very moment to what is complete, allowing for space for the next breath to be drawn in. And as we're drawing in this breath, we have the opportunity to see that as the air goes exactly where it needs to go, we can feel the appropriateness of it within our bodies. We can sense how natural it feels for the air to go exactly where it needs to go. As we notice this, we notice that there is a natural, inbuilt way within us to observe the flow of resource, of energy, of oxygen within our lives, within our bodies, within our systems, and how at any given moment with awareness, we can discern what feels natural and resonant to us, and what feels like effort, what feels like force. Playfully, if we choose, we can suddenly decide to draw in a very deep breath, and we can playfully choose to do so as though we are deciding. How interesting, how different it feels to draw in air this way. We can marvel at how we can create in so many different ways. We can choose to allow air to come in naturally with its wisdom. We can choose to force. Which experience did you enjoy more? Or were they simply different? You are now accessing the roots of your discernment, the ability to observe and be present, to distinguish between options that call to you and that do not. You might notice in the area of your belly a certain sense of presence. If not, that's all right. And if you do, you can place your awareness there if you like. And breathe in. You can notice how that feels. You can notice how that is for you. The air is a bridge between the thread of your energy and this life. It is an expression and a dance that connects you with the natural rhythms of being. In any given moment, You choose, consciously or unconsciously, how you dance with life. And so, in all ways that resonate with the core of who we are, we allow ourselves to say, I am here, I am present, I am discerning, and so be it. And now perhaps we explore a little further. If the goal is to reach an outcome, I have found being decisive and being discerning to be more effective than being judgmental or debating. Let me give an example. If we are choosing somewhere to eat and we are going into a discussion and we are starting to say, well, this kind of food is better than that kind of food because blank, we are entering into a debate about judgment. And sometimes we can arrive at an effective conclusion based on the pros and cons that are presented. Sometimes we just end up in a discussion about it for the sake of going back and forth and one person needing to be right versus the other. With discernment, I can simply go, am I feeling called to have this food? No. And it's not about whether or not that food is tasty or not, good or not, this or that. It's simply a no, because it's not what I'm choosing right now. There's no emotional attachment to the outcome, nor is there a specific belief structure about it. It's just an understood decisive choice about what is or is not the resonant choice for me at that given moment. And at that place, debate is also unnecessary. I have no need to defend my position about it. I have no need to go into detail about why it's a no. And for me personally, I likely wouldn't find myself a long time in the company of someone who felt that it was important to debate why it was a no, because that also doesn't interest me. As such, sometimes people ask me how to navigate certain relationships. And something I find that's very important to understand is, if you're someone who really enjoys peace, but you are in a relationship with someone who really enjoys debate, and they want to fight you on a lot of different topics for the sake of debate and argumentativeness. Something that can be helpful to understand is some people simply enjoy the energy of argument. They're not necessarily trying to arrive at a conclusion or solution with you. And you can tell this because you'll notice that a consistent pattern is debate and argument, debate and argument. People who I have met who genuinely want to experience peace, they generally don't feel a need to defend their perspectives, views, or statements. And they generally choose a life and lifestyle and friendships that honor those choices. And once again, I actually don't have a judgment about debate or argument. I mean, we have whole teams around it. Some people genuinely enjoy it. They make professions out of it. I think that's delightful. What I generally suggest to people is just be aware of where your joy is. Because if you're having fun doing arguments and debatings, this is a moot point anyway. You're living your life of delight. You're like, I'm all about this. Excellent. So I feel like that's a good dose for today. I'll invite you to contemplate the conversation we had. Maybe explore what felt true and resonant to you. Explore your relationship with judgment and discernment. Consider if you led yourself in a resonant direction having this conversation with the antlered woman. And in all cases, if you feel like going deeper, you can check out my description for more links and resources. And if this was of assistance, please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment or two. I enjoy our conversations. And I look forward to our next one together.